Where are you going to watch the Super Bowl?
Oh, I'm going straight to Sin City, baby.
Oh, you're
I
going to
will be,
Vegas?
yes, sir. I will be in the line of fire out there. I mean, I'm so stoked.
Did you
It's
get
gonna be
tickets?
insane. No, God, that would have been sweet. No, I'm just a consumer. I'll just be in the bars, probably watching it in a loud, tight, cramped bar or someplace where I have to pay like $30 for a seat because everything is going to be upcharged to the ass. But yeah, I'll be there. So it's an away game for me.
Wait, is Burns going?
I don't know. I think maybe. I think there's rumor has it that they have a room. They may be staying in a room. I'm off the reservation this weekend.
His theory is he goes every year and he waits until the first quarter and buys a ticket, discounted, and goes in. So that's always an option, right? If you can get like a better deal, a decent ticket, and go in a little later.
Yeah, well, that's why he's the co-founder. He's got there's a method to his madness. Dude's money like that.
He is. And hello and welcome to Super Bowl week, Super Bowl 58. We
Yes.
finally made it. And this week, the San Francisco 49ers are going for their 6th Super Bowl championship. Will this also be the week that all of you put some respect on Brock Purdy's name? Thank you for joining us this week. We're broadcasting live Tuesday night on nofilter.net. You can also catch us on Caffeine TV and YouTube. We're going to get into Super Bowl 58, a little prop bets, some normal bets, T Swift, where Patrick Mahomes ranks among the GOATs at QB, and much, much more. I'm Kay Wynn. He's Henry Marken, and he might propose to Taylor Swift if the Niners win on Sunday.
There is no way. By the way, that is probably of all the novelty bets, the proposal, the plus, what is it, 210 for yes, there will be a proposal amongst teammates, minus 190 for no proposal. That has to be free money, right? That there won't be a proposal. That has to be free money.
I don't think he's going to do it.
There's no way. Because that first of all, he's not gonna propose after a loss.
Correct.
So you have to factor in the win, and imagine if they win, but God forbid he gets hurt. So there's so many elements. He's not going to propose on crutches. He's definitely not going to propose from the hospital bed. So there's so many things that have to work for that moment to even exist. And what if he's like saving up for like a big old trip to Tulum or something, or Thailand, or even at her concert? Well, what if it's her moment and she proposes to him on her tour? God, there's no way. It's free money. Has to be free money.
It's free money. But you know what also is not free money, but is a good time? It's Magic Mind. Magic Mind. It will give you that Super Bowl championship feeling every morning. It's a part of my daily routine. I used to try coffee. I used to try sugary energy drinks, but the ups and downs, the peaks and valley, it just didn't work for me. Magic Mind. It's vegan, it's paleo friendly, it's nut free, and it's sugar free. Magic Mind. This little shot will boost your mind. Act now because there's a promotion. So for the next 10 days, if you use our promo code and you go to magicmind.com/WST, that's magicmind.com/WST, use our promo code WST20, that's WST20, and you'll receive 56% off your next subscription. So get that Super Bowl feeling, get that subscription. It will give you that boost. It will clear your mind, have you throw in out patterns like Patrick Mahomes or MVP Purdy. Magicmind.com//WST, promo code WST20. You get 56% off. I'm so excited. I can't even get it out of my mouth. 56% off. Magicmind.com.
Awesome. Hell yeah. That's great. And I'm so happy you shoehorned that Brock Purdy MVP in there because that's the truth. If anything, that's the truth.
So we've got a lot to get into right now. Where do you want to start? You want to continue with prop bets? You want to go somewhere else first?
I mean, I think the prop bets are so fun. There's so many different things you could think about. Obviously, you and I are both not professional analysts, right? We're not, I don't know how much tape you consume on a given day, but I do it just about as much as the common man, which is the game itself, maybe a highlight or two via Scott Van Pelt, but I think all of our money is going to be won with all those novelties. I swear to God. Because we want the Niners to win. You and I are both Niners till we die, but do you really care if it's an Ayuk day and we're betting Kittle the whole time? Like, at the end of the day, we don't care.
We don't care. Yeah. I do care heads or tails. Like, that's the prop bet that gets us started, right? Like, if it's going to be a great Super Bowl or it's not. I personally, tails never fails. You got to go tails.
This is actually my favorite bet, because as simple as it sounds, being quite literally a 50-50 coin toss, it's actually not that simple. So there's been 57 Super Bowls. And by the way, I wanted to credit you for just nailing Super Bowl 58 on the nose. A lot of people, and it pisses me off, a lot of people like Eric Burns, our brave co-founder of this company, he reads Super Bowl titles using the Roman numerals. Like, he just goes LVII. Like, he can't put it together. And I'm like, dude, just takes 2 seconds to just do the math. So props to you. But across,
I can't read Roman numerals, so that's why I translate it into the number.
Okay. Does anyone have any love for the arts and humanities anymore? My God.
No.
Anyways, okay. So there's been 57 Super Bowls. Across all 57 Super Bowls, the coin toss has landed tails 30 times and landed heads 27 times. So obviously not exactly 50-50. Here's when the trickery comes in, though. One would think, okay, because it is quite literally a coin toss and statistics usually win in the end, not humans, statistics win. I'm going to bet heads because it's going to get closer to that 50-50 mark. Well, but that has no bearing on this ref, who probably may or may not had a huge breakfast or has a strained wrist or the wind or no wind factor.
Sweaty thumbs.
Sweaty, huge moment for the guy, probably the biggest moment of his life. He's not sure if he does kind of a casual toss or if he goes kind of all in. It's literally zero. We call it like a net zero situation. And I hate to say it, but it is not 50-50. It's entirely dependent on who's flipping the goddamn coin. So at the end of the day, it's not that simple. That's why these are so fun and so frustrating.
So I've got on my neutral colors because I don't want our listeners to think that I'm biased one way or the other. And I'm going to prove to you that I'm not a biased 49er fan with these prop bets.
Okay.
And I consume sports here or there, but these are locks. Write them down, take a picture. These are locks. My first prop bet, Isaiah Pacheco, I think it's 68.5 yards. Take the over. The reason behind it is the Niners can't stop anyone.
Yeah.
The Lions ran for over 200 yards. The Packers, 130 the week before. And if you go back to week 15 against the Cardinals, James Conner looked like Jerome Bettis. They ran for over 200 yards too. So The Chiefs will run the ball. Pacheco will get the over. The other, I think you bet the Chiefs the first half. I do think the Niners are going to win. I'm confident the Niners are going to win, but I think the Chiefs are going to get ahead early, and I think they'll be ahead at halftime. I have a stat that I found. Of the Chiefs, 70 points so far in the postseason, 46 of them have been in the first half, and they've gotten out fast the way that Andy Reid scripts out the games and gets Mahomes in the best position to win. So, Chiefs fans, I got 2 bets for you. Pacheco and Chiefs first half. You can win some money there, but don't win any money on the big game, the long game, because the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl.
So you got Mahomes coming out strong and then ultimately just shitting all over himself in the second half. That's effectively the...
I wouldn't say that in case Mr. Mahomes is listening to this podcast. I just think the Niners D is going to make some key adjustments down the stretch because who knows the West Coast offense, if not just as good or better than Andy Reid. you've got Kyle Shanahan's dad, Mike Shanahan, who pretty much, I think, created the West Coast offense. So I think the Niners will be ready for some wrinkles and be able to throw them off a little bit. So quick first half, second half, all Niners, baby.
I noticed in your list of locks, you didn't include the Patrick Mahomes rushing over. And I have to ask if that's out of any sort of scarred memory of this exact same matchup 4 years ago with the infamous Patrick Mahomes horrendous bad beat when he had 44 rushing yards at the end of the game, like in victory formation. His line was 29 and a half. He had 44 rushing yards. And in between 3 kneels and running and trying to burn some clock, he ended up with 29, a half under.
That is brutal, and it has no bearing on my bet. If anything, it has to do with that dad bod that he's developing lately. I don't know if he can move around the pocket with all that fat and chub. Have you seen him without a shirt off?
Yeah, what was that? That he looked like he was the social chair of a fraternity in Kansas. That was insane.
It didn't even look like him.
Yeah, he looked like Kenny Powers. I mean, he sounds like Kenny Powers, but he truly took on that Kenny Powers form. I don't lose sleep at night wondering what Patrick Mahomes looks like shirtless, but I didn't have any of that aesthetic on my bingo card. That just gut, that barrel he was wielding, and I mean he looked like us poolside at like a Waterworld or something. It was disgusting.
Jason Kelce might have a better physique than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, like, I don't know. I guess like as a quarterback, you're not really supposed to look God tier. Like McCaffrey, running back, putting on muscle, no fat. You gotta bust through dudes. But as a quarterback, like, I don't know. I guess
you gotta use that core string.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't expecting him to look like he just rolled right out of a fraternity. So, yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
That's that. But I do have some Niners prop bets.
Yeah,
I did say the Niners are going to win MVP. I'm going CMC. The Niners are going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball. The best way to keep Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes off the field is if you run the ball. They've got to dominate the line of scrimmage. The last couple games, they actually gave up a lot of points, so they had to throw the ball. I think they're going to use McCaffrey to the bitter end. They're going to run the ball. And when they do throw it, who is Brock Purdy's favorite target? It's Ayuk. It's 6.5 targets. I take the over on that and McCaffrey MVP.
Is it targets or catches?
Ooh, I thought it was targets.
It's
targets.
It's targets. Okay. Yeah, then hammer that.
Hopefully I didn't misread that, but I thought it was targets.
Even if it is receptions at the end of the day, like 6.5, that's right around his number. So yeah, I could tell that with you. I'm also with you on CMC. Why at any game this year, including the most important game, why would you not give it to the best player on any given Sunday, Christian McCaffrey? That's especially with Brock. Like if he has even one instance of a faulty throw, Shanahan's he's gonna melt and fold and just give it right to McCaffrey. Shanahan is not gonna be robbed of his great prize this time. There's no way. Because if he loses the Super Bowl, he'll just explode. He'll explode into like 1,000 pieces.
Now, it'd be great if we could somehow get Tony Romo or Chris Collinsworth to like chime in on prop bets here.
Oh, you want me to do a little, do an impression? Okay.
What would Tony Romo say?
Jim, I don't know. I just really like Patrick Mahomes in the over 260.5. It's just right around his number every time. Jim, I love when he airs it out to those guys. He's just top of his class. Jim, I don't know. I think it's a lock. Is that enough Romo for you?
That's good, Romo. He does squint a lot.
He's just always, Jim, I don't know. He's just like another prop that we have to add to this is because it's a CBS broadcast, so it's Romo and Nance. how many times is Tony Romo going to say the word Jim? Like, and Jim followed by a Jim. Like, there's going to be some emotional grunt and Jim. I'm going to say at least 16 times. That's my.
I'm taking the over on that.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't. But that's what's so crazy is when you're sitting next to your buddy, you only refer to him by his first name once, maybe twice. But he's going to say he just loves the security of knowing that someone named Jim will answer him. He calls out his name, legal name, dozens of times a game. It's crazy. It's Jim, which would be like, Tony, I'm right here. Like, that's what I don't know why Nance hasn't choked out Romo yet. But it can't nearly be as bad as like hanging out with Collinsworth the whole game. He's just sitting there going, oh, Patrick Mahomes. Here's a guy that's just top of his time all the time. This guy, Mahomes, man, he's just, I don't know what kind of spaceship he came on, but this alien's good. Like Collinsworth is, like pairing Romo and Collinsworth together is nightmare television, in my opinion. So that's
if you had to call a game with one or the other, who would you pick?
I think I would do it with Romo because I would be so frustrated because all you hear in like serious moments sometimes, if Tirico or even Al Michaels, they're calling some big play, they're trying to get through an iconic line, and you just hear in the background Collinsworth going, oh, like he's just losing his mind back there. It's like, what's so goddamn funny about a 9-yard out route? Come on. Like that, I think at least with Romo, he's still so sharp. People don't give him enough credit for like his first game when he predicted every single play. And he's like, "Oh, Jim, we got a little out route to the side here, right before the quarter ends. Don't be surprised if he throws it out of bounds." Like it's just and boom, it just as documented. It's in the script. He was so sharp, and now he just likes making noises in the booth. I think I'd still probably go Romo. Definitely.
All right. So sticking on the quarterback trend, we texted a little about this. Patrick Mahomes, like where does he rank in your greatest of all time QB GOAT list?
Oh, it's very dependent on a win. Like,
okay. Well, give it to me if he wins and give it to me if he loses.
Well, so if he wins, right, isn't he on track to be just like Manning? And I mean, as far as like stats wise and prestige goes, he's right there with Manning. If he wins, I think he's on a quicker pace than Brady. And, you know, you looked at his body, it doesn't look like he's, going to last for much longer, but apparently he's in like perfect health in this, like all this stretching and all the stuff he does in the off season. He's prepared for a massive amount of longevity. I mean, if he wins with this team, like this is technically still supposed to be a Chiefs rebuild. The fact that they won it last year with a soft rebuild is insane, but this is supposed to be the yucky years for the Chiefs, and they're in the Super Bowl, and they just beat a Ravens team that looked like a clear lock, in addition to a Bills team that's very much fighting the clock as well. So can you imagine like a team loaded with talent, full of receivers like a Stephon Diggs? He's like, I've had it. I got to go to Kansas City. And then on the other side, you got Jalen Ramsey. He's like, I got to get another ring. I'm going to Kansas City. So there's probably going to be a year or two when the Chiefs have an actually loaded roster, assuming that Kelsey still sticks around, doesn't retire this year like those random rumors say he will. I think if he loses, this is going to be a troublesome couple of years because right now, just right now, Burrow is out. Burrow hasn't been mentioned at all since week 5. He obviously hurt, but that's a big gaping hole in the AFC Championship where Burrow should have been. Not to mention, you got one final year or two push from Aaron Rodgers that could sneak up on a lot of people, assuming that he doesn't just like have some crazy ayahuasca trip and retire just rapidly. And then now you got Herbert and Harbaugh. Like the AFC, it's a packed house for the next 10 years. And so
you got the Dolphins too. Like they could beat you.
They hurt. No, I would put. Seriously, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have more playoff success than the Dolphins in the next 5 years. Like
Okay.
I am so sick of recognizing the Dolphins as a threat. As long as Tua Tagovailoa is their starting quarterback, and I'll say this for the record, as
Let's
long as
hear it.
Tua Tagovailoa is their starting quarterback, do not pencil them past the first round of the playoffs. That's it. They are just as good as Tua, and he is pure dog shit in the playoffs.
Ooh,
And
okay.
and you saw him in the Pro Bowl too. He's passing these target dummies, and they're guarded by no one. They're defended by no one, and he barely hit 3. So, I'm of all the talent in the AFC,
Got the Ravens
Tua,
too.
Ravens are going to be a threat. They're going to be back. Lamar is in the same class as all these guys. Tua is not. Tua is not.
All right. So Mahomes is on your list moving up if he wins Super Bowl this coming Sunday.
This is an important one because the next couple of years it's going to be busy in the playoffs. People are going to be, because he's been robbing all of the AFC for this time. You still got to think like, well, how's you have to understand these guys are all thinking to themselves, yeah, I'm going to get a ring. Like, when's Burrow going to get his ring? When's Josh Allen going to get his ring? Is Lamar going to get one? Is Herbert going to get one? There's not enough heads at the table for all these guys to get rings, unless, of course, it's just like Mahomes pulling a Brady where he just made sure that Rivers never got one and all those guys that he played against, got minimal. Like, Manning only got 2, right?
Yeah.
Peyton. Yeah. Peyton Manning only had 2 rings. Roethlisberger had 1? 2? He had 2?
I think so. And yeah. Eli had 2.
Eli, yeah, but I'm talking like it's just AFC. Like, Brady would just box these guys out completely. I think this is it. It's a very different route. If Mahomes wins this year, we're giving him 3. He's probably going to end his career on top of Brady. If he loses this game, and you could keep this for the records,
yeah,
I don't think he's going to touch Brady. This is such an important number 3 because that ring number 3 could come in a while for Mahomes. Yeah. Like, it could be a long time before he gets that 3rd ring, and maybe he goes on another somewhat mini dynasty when he does. But to catch 7, you need to win this year, and they won't because the Niners got him.
So win or lose, I've got him as number 4 on my list. Win or lose, number 1. It's Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls, 7 out of 10. He got to 10. Number 2, I still got Joe Montana. 4 Super Bowl rings, 4-0. He's number 2. Number 3, I still have Peyton over Mahomes. Peyton has 2, but he's got 5 MVPs. That's the most all time. So if Mahomes wins, he'll have 3 Super Bowls and 2 regular season MVPs. And then number 5, I just kind of like this guy, Dan Marino. He doesn't have the Super Bowls, but he had the stats, the passing offense, and the things that he does. With this win, I will say I think he jumps over Rodgers. I think Rodgers is riding off into the sunset. He's only going to get 1. Yeah, he has 4 MVPs, but I think it's a matter of time before some of those other quarterbacks like Burrow and maybe Herbert jump Rodgers.
I already had Mahomes over Rodgers. Like, it was, that was, to me, that was accomplished last year, even before Aaron Rodgers blew up his leg. I just don't see Rodgers. Like, what can he possibly do next year that's going to surprise anybody? Like maybe they do beat somebody. Maybe they beat somebody. Maybe they beat the Bills in the playoffs.
Nah, I don't see it.
Yeah, you got to get out of that division first. And as tough as I am on the Dolphins, like, the Dolphins still very much have the Jets number.
I do. Do you want to get into the practice facilities in Las Vegas?
Ugh, that's just a big headache. It's just a massive headache, isn't it?
I got some numbers for you.
Let's hear it.
1 billion, 15.8 billion, and 50 billion. 1 billion, 15.8, and 50. 1 billion is the amount of revenue that the host city is going to bring in for hosting a Super Bowl. 15.8 billion is what the NFL made in total revenue in 2023. And based on my math, over a 3-year period, you're probably, with interest rates and inflation, it's over $50 billion. And you're telling me that the San Francisco 49ers have to practice on a Pop Warner field out in Las Vegas? Get out of here. Where's this money going?
It's so
Did they take the money and use it to pay for U2's residency at the Sphere?
It's so insulting because you saw that the Chiefs are cozy, like just having a ball in the Raiders' multi-gazillion dollar practice facility, indoors, everything's taken care of, it's fully furnished. Oh, come on in, guys. Don't forget to take your shoes off at the door. Like, it's a nice place. And the Niners go to what is advertised as this crazy good established UNLV practice facility. And everyone in the media is like, no, it's the same. It's the same. It's not the same. It's like the McDonald's out here and the McDonald's we have at home. We do not have a McDonald's at home. We have just garbage at home. This is horrendous. And I know that there's nothing in the actual script that the NFL manufactured and maneuvered that the Chiefs would get this. It's quite literally coming down to home and away. It alternates every year, AFC, NFC. It's too bad how that played out. The AFC team was going to get the home practice facility, which is that. It's too bad. It's tough. I'm just frustrated because it's one more thing that goes in the Chiefs' favor when they most definitely didn't need it at this point. So,
but how does the NFL not do anything? Like, the Super Bowl site's out for 3 years. Like, next year it's New Orleans, then it's Santa Clara, then it's Inglewood. Like, you've got 3 years to plan, and they start in December laying sod over turf in UNLV. Like, I thought this was like the Olympics. You get the host city, and you get all these great sporting facilities and like a facelift.
Yeah, exactly. Like a facelift. Why don't we just lift up like a new facility? Like, we don't have to necessarily use a pre-existing university's facility. By the way, like, I know nothing about UNLV football, like no more than the next guy, but like people like Pat McAfee was saying, he's got these massive renovations. It's like, okay, but they still suck. like they're not. Okay.
They played Kansas in a bowl game. I don't even know what bowl game it was, but it's like UNLV and Kansas. I think of basketball, not football.
Exactly. So just, the facelift is exactly right. Like, let's get a facelift. We clean our room and the guests are coming. Let's build them a stadium that they're going to, with this chump change. I mean, you just said all these numbers that's ended with billions. Like, there's a few zeros we could, move over in place for a new stadium. I don't know. It's just so frustrating because technically it's fair. It's fair how that happened, like how the Raiders facilities for the Chiefs and the Niners go somewhere else. I just don't like it. I hate it. It pisses me off.
Hopefully we'll use it as motivation. So I know you got to get out of here, but before you do, give me a hot take. Let's fast forward. Say your clip now. Say your bit now. It goes viral next Monday. What is your hot take after Super Bowl when blank team wins? What is the headline?
Headline is this. I was looking at some novelty props and something caught my eye. Where everyone's always like, what color is the Gatorade going to be? And it's always like, it's red because, the Chiefs, it's yellow, it's this, it's that, whatever, right? But I never knew that there was an option for no Gatorade bath.
I just saw that today.
Yes. So no Gatorade bath is plus 1,600. And that's incredible odds for something that could very well happen. You saw Harbaugh. He went whoop and he dodged, and one of his DBs got.
But if they pour it out and don't hit the coach, is that considered no bath?
That's my question, is what determines a bath? Like, if you're saying what color is the Gatorade, like the official Gatorade that hits a coach, is the bet voided if the coach dodges it and or if somebody screws up and they, oh my God, we tripped and it's all over the grass? Like, if there's a fundamental issue with the like in the process of going from the tub to the coach, let's say somebody messes up, or
Yeah.
the Gatorade hasn't arrived, we finished it. It never, like, coach gets escorted out by the sheriff. Whatever happens, there's no Gatorade bath just until the locker room. When is it officially voided? When is the Gatorade bath prop of 0 bath going to hit? That, ladies and gentlemen, is my hot take. I think there's going to be a complication. There's going to be an issue.
Ooh.
There's going to be a situation, maybe a blockade, maybe a reason that you can't just dump Gatorade because not Andy Reid.
No,
because,
take that back.
I take it back because Kyle Shanahan is out in the middle. He's surrounded by reporters with their iPhones and iPads, and maybe Brock Purdy and all of his people are really, really respectful to all the technology that's around. No one wants to short circuit their phone or electrocute someone, so they pump the brakes on the Gatorade bath. He's got Aaron Andrews or Tracy Wolfson or these people with the cameras and stuff. That's a lot of equipment. That someone could get hurt. That's my hot take. No right. Gatorade bath.
No Gatorade bath. You heard it here. My hot take before I let you go, there's going to be a paradigm shift of how we talk about Brock Purdy next Monday. There's no longer going to be the system quarterback. It's no longer going to be Mr. Irrelevant. He is going to be elite. I'll leave you with this stat. Patrick Mahomes has the best passer rating in his first 2 years since Brock Purdy. He is the only one that has a better passer rating than Patrick Mahomes in his first 2 years, and they're still knocking him. Mr. Irrelevant is going to be relevant. He is going to take the Niners to the Super Bowl, and all of this talk is going to go out the window as the Niners win number 6.
I'm so with that. I am so ready for the narrative to shift, and I cannot wait for all these clickbaity analysts on TV to shrivel up in their jackets, like the Ryan Clarks of the world that are sitting here saying, like, I have a confession and it hurts me every time I put Brock Purdy's name with Lamar and Mahomes, and just shut up, dude. He's balling out. He's in the Super Bowl, and honestly, this will be the first of many for him. So get used to it. Brock Purdy is not a system quarterback. You said it. He is the system.
He is the system. So I'm going to sign off here. You can jump off if you got to go.
Thank you.
But thank you for joining the show. Good luck tonight, and we'll talk soon. Go Niners.
Go Niners. They're going to win. You didn't even need to hear me say it. They're going to win. That's who needs to listen to me say, who do I think is going to win? The Niners are going to win. That's my bet. I'll be in Vegas placing that. So good luck to you as well. Enjoy yourself.
All right. Safe travels. Everyone out there, thank you for listening to the show. Each week we're live, nofilter.net, Caffeine TV, YouTube. Follow us, like us, subscribe anywhere you get your podcast, social media. It's done by this guy, Henry Marken, the greatest to ever do it, at BigBenKwin_, at BigBenKwin_. We'll be back on Thursday night. Big Ben is out on assignment. He will be here with a very interesting 49er piece, and we're out.
See ya.
See ya.